everybody. Just getting everything set up here, making sure everybody can hear me. So if you're here, just say hi. And I'm going to get started because I hate it when people stand around and say, hey, I'm just waiting for more people to come on. So I don't do that. So we're going to make some mended heart blocks. And I will show you a quilt that's from over 20 years ago. And the way we used to make these is with red and black and white. Hi, Karen. Hi, Sue. Hi, Jamie. Hold on just a second. I want to make sure I can see everything here. See what my screen looks like and everything here. Okay, there we go. Okay. So this was a quilt that somebody made for me when I was going through a hard time in my life. And it's called the Mended Hearts quilt. And back about 20 some odd years ago, I made a couple of these myself. And they're just really fun, super simple. Usually best made for like a wall hanging or maybe a table topper or something, because they're just zigzag together. They're quilt as you go. So once your blocks are done, basically your quilt is done. All you do is do the blocks, then you zigzag them together and you make your quilt. This is made as a wall hanging. I've never hung it on the wall. I've actually had it on a quilt stand in my house for a very long time. But I also wanted to show you that the back is really fun too, because when you cut your blocks, you get these nice contrasty blocks on the back too. So it makes a cute quilt on the back as well. So I did some pre-work here because otherwise it would have taken too long to do this tutorial. I just got home from the shop at 3 o'clock, so I've been working as fast as I can to get some pieces together so that I could show you how to do this. So hi, Anne. Hi, Susie. So these are my little pieces that I'm making this time. I decided that I wanted to kind of update this, the look of this quilt, make it a little less 80s, 90s looking, and make it a little more my style these days. So this is actually a new collection that's coming out from Brenda Riddle called Sophie. It's super pretty. I love it so much. And it's very similar to the collection that we have coming, probably be here on Friday, called Dots and Posies by Poppy Cotton. So I have a collection coming that's really similar to this one. And I'm probably going to make a whole quilt out of that just for myself. And I'm probably going to use this pattern because I'm really having fun with it. Forgot how much I loved making this and how fun it is. So first of all, what you want to do is you want to have some fusible web. And what I did to make these hearts is I cut 2 squares, 6 inches square. These, let me start at the beginning. Sorry. The background fabric on this block is 8 inches square. It doesn't have to be 8.5 because they're all going to be the same size. So it doesn't matter if it's 8.5, or you can actually make it 6 inches or 5 inches or 4 inches. You can make it 10 or 12 inches if you wanted to, if you wanted your hearts to be really big. 8 inches was what I made on the 2 quilts that I made 20 years ago. And that's what the quilt is that I have here that I just showed you as well. So these are 8-inch blocks. They would be super cute in little tiny blocks too. I think they would make the cutest little, like a mug rug if you wanted to make little 4-inch blocks or anything like that. So what I did was I cut the background piece is 8 inches. I cut the backing piece 9 inches. And then I have a piece of batting that's 9 inches. To make the hearts, I cut 2 squares of fusible interfacing, and I just freehand cut the hearts. And the fun thing about that is every 2 of your blocks will come out different, which makes it fun. It makes it more interesting. As you can see with this quilt, all the hearts are different shapes and they're different sizes. This one's like a perfect heart, and this one's a little oblong, and this one is small, and this one's upside down. So they're like different. All of them are different, and that makes it really fun. So you can do the same thing, or if you want them all to be the same, you can make them all the same by drawing them and then tracing them. But what I did was I just cut 2 squares that are 6 inches, and I folded them in half together so that I would make sure that the hearts would be exactly the same, because you want 2 hearts exactly the same. And then I just cut a heart, and I kind of made it as big as the paper was. And this one, see, is going to be different from these ones. It's fatter and it has less of a little point in the center, but that's great. I think it'll be really cute when it's all done. Actually, I'll probably make this part a little bit bigger because I want it to look a little more like a heart. But you can always mess around with it like that. So that's what I did to cut these 2 hearts out of the fusible interfacing. And then I put the fusible on the back of 2 pieces of pink fabric, but you could use red or whatever colors you like. I think this would be super cute done in like neon colors. Like if you are a Tula Pink fan, you could do her black and white, her new collection line work. You could do the black and white background, and then you could use like her hot pink or her really bright teal or something like that for your hearts. It would be super cute. I just happen to love this pink, and I just got Sophie in the mail, just these samples of Sophie, and it's so pretty. So I thought, oh, I just want to use that pink. So we're doing pink this time. So I used the same background as I used for backing on each of these, so that when I cut them apart and sew them back together, they'll have a cute design on the back as well. So then all I did was fuse them onto the background fabric. And I know I'm talking really fast. I'm sorry, you guys, but there's a lot to get done if we're going to get the whole thing done tonight. So I'm talking fast, but fuse them onto the background fabric. And then I just zigzagged all the way around. So use your zigzag stitch on your machine, or you can applique these whatever way is your favorite way to do applique. You can do that. I would say just do the zigzag because these are kind of made to look Frankenstein-y. That's kind of the whole point of them. The point is to make them look like, hey, I'm a little beat up, but I'm still here and I'm still in good shape and I'm still cute. So doing the zigzag stitch I think is awesome. And then I'm going to show you again my quilt that's already finished here. So I'm going to hold this up really close. The person who did this block, so this was actually a community project, I guess you could say. Quilt Bee that I was in made this quilt for me when my ex-husband left me. And so they made me mended hearts because I had a broken heart. And so each person did their own block and sent it, and one person put the whole thing together. So everybody had a different idea of how to do it, and I think that's what makes it really fun. So this one has lots of different colored stitching on it. It's got yellow and pink and green, all different colors that she used for the stitching. Her zigzags that she did blue here. She did like a yellow on this side and a hot pink on this side. So it's all different. This one has some zigzag stitches, and it has like some decorative stitches that she used on her machine. She used orange for this part right here, and she used purple around this side. There's like a little swirly green design over here. So each person did something a little different. And this one, and I love it when people do this as well, make a little heart to go on one side. So this was supposed to represent my daughter. And so they make one big heart, they do a little heart on one side of the heart, and it makes it kind of, have 2 little hearts, which is really cute. So there's lots of different things you can do, and you can use the decorative stitches on your machine, which is really fun, something that you probably don't get to do very often. As you can see, they used one of the decorative stitches here. Yeah, so anyway, it's really fun to use those like embroidery-ish stitches that you have on your machine, even if you don't have an embroidery machine. So it's super fun to use your stitches and do all those kind of things. Hi, Shelly. Hi, Sandra. And so what I'm going to do is, with mine, I'm just going to do a straight stitch because I'm going to go ahead and use my Juki to do the stitching, to do the quilting stitching on this. You could also, so back when we were doing this, people did not do free motion quilting very much. It was just pretty new back then, and yeah, they just didn't do it. So we just did straight stitches, or you know, as you could see, there were mostly just straight stitches that were on there, or they did a decorative stitch in a straight line or something. But if you love to do free motion quilting, this would be super fun to do just some free motion quilting on, just however you want to do it. I'm just going to do straight stitches because I think it looks really cute that way. So I'm going to do a straight stitch just straight across in a bunch of different directions just to hold the pieces together. And then I'll show you how to put the two sections together afterward. And I meant to actually get the stitching done before I came on tonight, but I just didn't have enough time. It took me an hour just to get this part done for you so that you didn't have to watch me do all of the stitching. So I'm just going to straight stitch these down, and really it's really just that simple, just going straight across, and I'm just going to make them go in all different directions. And you could use a walking foot if you wanted to, but I don't even think you really need to most of the time. Well, at least with my machine, I don't have any problem with it getting messed up on the back. So I'm just going to do some straight stitches going this direction, and then I'm going to do some going the other direction. And just do a bunch to hold it all down and hold it all together. Or if you want to, do some free motion. I could do some free motion on this, but I'm just going to do some straight lines. And it's super fast and fun. You don't want this to be like a project that takes you a really long time. A lot of the times we want to do something nice for somebody if they're going through something difficult, and we think, oh my goodness, it's taken me so long to make this that now it's kind of silly to even send it to them because they're through whatever it was they were going through. So the whole point of this is to make something that's really fast and easy, but yet also shows that you care about somebody. And it's something that you can do and do really quick and just be done. I'm just doing some straight lines and not really worrying about it. You can actually do all kinds of different things with this, but I'm sure you guys know that. You could do a starburst effect. You could do free motion. You could make little hearts. Can't get this pin into my pin cushion. There we go. So tell me what you guys have been up to. You've been doing your 365 projects? When the Sophie fabric came, I was like, ooh, I really want to make some cute little houses out of Sophie because it's so pretty. So everything's still looking fine on the back, just making sure. Walking foot would probably be good if you are wanting to do that. So these are just wonky lines. I didn't do anything straight or measure anything or anything like that. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I think I'll make the lines go the other direction. And I can't see you if you're answering me right now, but I will in a minute. Because I can't see the computer from my sewing machine. Oh my goodness. I just love that gray with the little pink flowers on it, you guys. I keep glancing over at it. It's so pretty. See how quick and easy it is? Have I mentioned how much I love my Juki lately? Because I do. I love it. I love it. It's the best machine ever. I love that it's so fast. And I'm going to curve my lines on this one just for fun. There, so now I have some curvy lines on this one. Okay. Now I'm going to read your comments. Yes, the backing and batting are both 9 inches. The 8-inch one is on the top. And sorry, let me read. Okay, here we are. Hi, Dina. Shelly, you can use Steam-A-Seam if you want to. I used some really old fusible web that was not working very good, I have to tell you. But any kind of fusible web that you enjoy is good. I think Steam-A-Seam is probably way better than what I use. Oh, Karen, you don't need to catch up. You don't have to catch up. Just start where you're at. 365 is just for you to have fun and enjoy yourself. The background fabric is 8 inches. And sorry, you guys, I'm just catching up with your comments here. And the backing and batting are both 9 inches. That's correct. Yes, poppy cotton. So this fabric that I'm using right now is Sophie from Brenda Riddle. It's a Moda fabric, and it's super pretty. But I have a collection coming in probably about 2 days. Hopefully, if they get it shipped out quickly enough. It's called Dots and Posies, and it's really similar to this. And it is super adorable, and we will have it in the shop pretty soon. But this is a super pretty collection too. Sophie from Brenda Riddle, Moda. So anywhere you buy Moda, you can get this, but I don't have it in my shop. Okay, so now all I'm doing is trimming down to the edges of the square. Oh, and what I forgot to tell you, you guys, I'm so sorry. So before I pinned these down and before I zigzag these, okay, you guys, I'm losing my words because I was up at 4 a.m. Sally can tell you it's true. I was up at 4 a.m. this morning. Oh, and I have to change back the, sorry, you guys, here's the camera. I was up at 4 a.m. this morning, and so I'm losing my words. So I'm really sorry about that. And I'm forgetting to switch the camera over. Okay, so before I zigzag these down, I layered the background pieces over the top of each other, and I made sure that the hearts were on top of each other perfectly on the background. So they're exactly the same spot on the background fabric. Doesn't matter where you put them. It doesn't matter if you tilt them or whatever, but you want them to be exactly in the same spot on your background fabric. So what I did is I layered them like this with just the background fabric and the hearts, and made sure that my hearts were in exactly the same place on the background fabric before I sewed them down. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that earlier. So now I am just trimming the batting and the backing down to the edges of the background fabric. I wanted to get a little bit of this done before we started today because I didn't want to keep you guys super long on the video. And then I forgot to tell you that one really important piece, which was to layer them up so that they're the same place on the background. And it doesn't matter where you put them or if you tilt them or whatever, as long as they're in the same place on both. And each time you make these, you'll be making 2 blocks at a time. So I'm planning on making this into a 4-block, just little like table topper or whatever. So that's what mine's going to be. Okay, so here we are. Now, when I put this on top of here, it's in, these 2 hearts are in exactly the same place. If it's not perfect, it's not the end of the world. But let me show you what it will look like if it's not perfect. Okay, so like, no, that one's pretty good. Let's see. Oh, here. So this one wasn't perfect. And you can see it's off a little bit here and here. But you know what? That's okay. It's really cute that way. I mean, I think it gives it personality. So now what you're going to do is layer them on top of each other. You're going to take your rotary cutter, and this is the scary part. You're just going to cut wherever you want. You can cut a curve in it. You can cut it straight. You can do whatever you want. You can cut it from the side and go this way. So let me see. Here's one. Here's one where they cut it from the side and made a curve. This one is pretty straight. This one, they did a curve like this. This one is straight, but it's diagonal. So, and this one is a really big curve in the middle. So you can do it any way you want to. I'm going to do a little bit of a curve, but I'm not going to do a huge curve. And I'm not going to do it straight. So I'm going to do it maybe a little bit to the diagonal, this direction, probably. And for each of the blocks that you make, you're going to want to try to remember to cut it in a different direction so it gives it a little bit more interest. So I'm going to look and make sure that I've got these lined up. They should be anyway, because you already did that when you ironed them down, but just to be sure. And I'm just going to do, this is the scary part, cut. Okay, so let me quite get through the bottom on this one. It's because I have a really messed up cutting mat. Okay, so I cut my 2 pieces apart. And now you just match up one side to the other side, just like that. And then you just zigzag those 2 pieces together, and you've made your little blocks. So I don't have my, hold on a second. I'm going to move my other camera so that is on the machine that has a zigzag stitch, because they're on the opposite sides of the room from each other. Yes, it would make a cute pillow. It would make a lot of cute different things. It would also make a really cute outside of a zipper bag. Like you could make a little zipper pouch out of it, all kinds of different things. You could make you could make a cute little zipper pouch out of it and put little candy hearts inside of it. You know, the little conversation hearts. Sally and I were talking about conversation hearts this morning. Thanks, Karen. And I'm sorry, I'm having to move my camera, so it's taking me just a second, but I'll get you back over here, guys, so you can see it in a second here. There. Here's the other machine, the one with the zigzag stitch. Okay, and I'm not gonna sew both of them, I'll just sew one. But you just match them up on the edges. And you want your zigzag to be pretty wide because you're going to be sewing these two pieces together. So you want that zigzag to be pretty wide. And test it out on a piece of fabric before you get started. I did that already, so I already know that this is a good width. Actually, I think I'm going to do it a tiny bit wider. I'm putting it, so this machine is an Elna, which is like a Janome. And I have the width at 5.5 and the length at 0.8 for my zigzag on this, if that gives you guys an idea. So then you just are real careful. Try to keep your seam right in the center. Use an open toe foot so that you can see where you're sewing. Go really slow and careful and you will be able to do it. I promise. Not hard at all. Just keep an eye on where you're going. Like I'm getting off a little bit to the side there, so I'm just going to turn it a little bit. And if you have a place where you have a bigger curve like I have right here, you might have to lift your presser foot and adjust. And that's it. Okay, let me move the camera again. Okay, so there is our first little block. And it's super cute. I love it. Hold it up close so you can see. So even though I made a curvy line through the middle and it was two different pieces, you can see it still matches up nicely in all the spots. And that's just because I put them over the top of each other before I pressed the fusible fleece or the fusible web down. And yeah, to make them nice and straight. And you can see the back looks just as good as the front. So now when you put this together, you'll have this cute little design on the back as well. And then each of your blocks will be the same size and you just zigzag them together and you don't even need to, well, yeah, you should find it, but you can zigzag around the edges. So I'll show you this other quilt again. So this one, she actually zigzagged the edge of the block before she zigzagged together with this. Maybe she had a little bit of an edge that wasn't quite straight or something, but you just zigzag them all together. And then as you can see, here's the back. And this is 20 years old. And yeah, it hasn't been used a lot. And I use it mostly for, as you can see, they signed the blocks, which is really neat. I love that. So I've used it mostly as a wall hanging or just, you know, hanging on a quilt frame, but still it's held together just fine. So let me read your comments and see if you guys have any questions. And I know I went really fast through that, but sorry, Tracy. The video will be here on the page so you can watch it anytime. Width 5.5, length 0.8. Yes, that's correct. they would make cute pockets on a tote bag. I never thought of that, Susie. What a great idea. Yay, I hope you will, Anne. You got to show us how it turns out. I think it's so cute with the updated fabrics, with the softer roses and grays. I think it really comes out sweet. Shelly, yes, yes. So you do zigzag the blocks together the same way you do with just the pieces. So that's how they're put together too. And it, like I said, it's just to make, something for yourself or something for a family member or a friend that needs a little pick me up, and it's quick and easy. Yes, Keiko, the blocks are quilted first. So it's a quilt as you go project. So you quilt it first and then you cut them apart. And as I said, the video will be here for you to watch as soon as it renders and uploads. So you can always go back and see what I did before. Okay, anybody have any other questions? I'm glad we got finished with it so that you guys could go and work on it if you wanted to this weekend or whatever. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, it's quilted and then cut. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I will see you guys soon. So we don't have a Thursday meeting, club people. We have another one on the 28th, and I'm hoping Dina, if Dina's still here, she can tell you for sure. But I think Dina will be our guest speaker on the 28th, and that'll be so fun. Can't wait for that. And for now, I love you guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Talk to you soon. Bye.